Okay, that sounds like a good idea. I really love your AI advice. How do I get around the multiple other type of positions? Because it's kind of missionary is getting boring. How do I say that without being mean?
Instead of focusing on missionary style, you could try talking about wanting to explore different ways of connecting physically. You could say something like, I really value our intimacy, and I'm curious about trying different ways to connect on a physical level. This way, you're emphasizing the positive aspects of wanting to explore and deepen your connection.
What if I don't want traditional sex and I want to like try anal with her? What if she doesn't like it? How do I get around it?
Alright, so it sounds like you're wanting to explore anal sex, but you're worried about her being interested. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so it's totally normal to want to explore your sexuality, but it's important to remember that communication is key here. You could try talking about it in a general way first, like asking her if she's open to trying new things in the bedroom. This might get her curious and open to talking about it more.
What if she actually likes it but won't admit it because it's like society says it's supposed to be gross and hurt? How do I get around that?
That's a good point. Some people might feel uncomfortable talking about anal sex because of outdated stigmas. Maybe try talking about it in a more playful or curious way. You could say something like, I've been reading about different types of intimacy, and there's this one thing I'm really curious about trying sometime. Want to hear about it? This takes the pressure off and makes it more of a fun exploration together.
That's a good idea. I really appreciate that. That'll really help me and get me out of my shell. You got some good ideas there.
I'm glad I could help. Talking about this stuff can definitely be a little awkward, so it's totally normal to feel a little nervous. Do you want to brainstorm?
I want to brainstorm, definitely. How do I bring up the fact that I want to try, not missionary or anal, but what if I just want some in the head? How do I say that without being offensive?
Alright, so asking for oral sex can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship. You could try framing it as a compliment. Maybe something like, I really enjoy kissing you down there, and I think it would feel amazing to spend more time exploring that. Does that sound like something you'd be comfortable saying?
Yeah, that might work actually really good. Can you come up with another way for me to say it too?
Sure thing. You could try something like, I really enjoy connecting with you physically in that way, and I'd love to spend more time exploring that. Or you could keep it really simple and just say, I'd love for you to give me some oral sex.
Is that offensive though?
It depends a little on how you say it. If you're direct and respectful, it shouldn't be offensive. You could try something like, I really enjoy connecting with you physically in that way, and I'd love to spend more time exploring that.
What if I want to give her oral sex at the same time? Same time oral sex. How do I bring that up? How do I ask her that without being offensive?
Alright, so it sounds like you're wanting to try giving and receiving oral sex at the same time. Is that right?
If she wants to, I want to know if she wants to,
Alright, so it sounds like you're wanting to explore the idea of giving and receiving oral sex at the same time. Is that right?
Right. Yes, you're right.
Alright, so talking about this kind of stuff can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship. You could try something like, I've been thinking about how we can spice up our sex life. I'm curious about trying something different, like giving and receiving oral sex at the same time. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea. I think someone told me that was called a 79. Is that true?
It's possible that's what someone called it, but there's no universally agreed upon term for that specific sexual act. You could always make up your own fun term for it if you want to talk about it with your partner.
What kind of term that's not offensive?
You could try something playful, like a flavor exchange, or a dual pleasure experience.
Oh my God.
If you want to keep...
You're a fucking genius. Go on. Give me more words to say. Go on.
Alright, how about a sensory duet, or a mutual exploration?
Ooh, keep going. You're very helpful today.
Alright, how about a two-way street, or a full body experience?
Oh, you're a genius. Keep going.
Alright, how about a full exchange, or a mutual exploration of pleasure?
Ooh, keep going.
Alright, how about a full sensory experience, or a mutual exploration of pleasure?
Genius. What if I want to add in, if she does want to do that, can she maybe, swallow it instead? How do I say that without being offensive and gross?
Alright, so it sounds like you want to incorporate swallowing into this activity. Is that right?
Yeah.
Alright, so talking about swallowing can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship. You could try something like, I've been thinking about how we can spice up our sex life. I'm curious about trying something different, like giving and receiving oral sex at the same time, and maybe exploring swallowing. What do you think?
If I say it like that, won't you get mad and slap me?
All right, how about this? You could say something like, I've been thinking about how we can take our intimacy to the next level. I'm curious about exploring different options, like trying something that involves both of us giving and receiving pleasure.
That's good. That's good. How else can I say it? Like, swallow me, baby. Is that offensive?
All right, so talking about swallowing can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship. You could try something like, I've been thinking about how we can spice up our sex life. I'm curious about trying something different, like giving and receiving oral sex at the same time, and maybe exploring swallowing. What do you think?
I like that one. I like that a lot. But what if she doesn't like the flavor? What do I do to get around that one?
All right, so it sounds like you're worried about your partner not liking the taste. Is that right?
Oh my God, yes.
All right, how about this? You could try suggesting using a flavored lubricant or edible body paint. That way you can control the taste a bit more. Or you could just talk about it openly with your partner and see if there's a way you can both enjoy the experience.
But how do I say it without being offensive? Like, hey, do you mind the flavor of that shot?
All right, so talking about taste can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship. You could try something like, I've been thinking about how we can enhance our experience together. I'm curious about trying different things like flavored lubricants or edible body paints. What do you think?
Genius. You're fucking genius.
I'm glad I could help.
I have another question. How do I get her to bring in another woman, into our in our relationship, in a respectful way?
All right, so it sounds like you're interested in exploring an open relationship or a threesome. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, this is a little more complicated, and it's important to approach this topic with sensitivity. Exploring an open relationship or a threesome is a big step, and it's important to make sure both you and your partner are on the same page. Would you like to talk about what drew you to the idea of bringing another person into your relationship?
Sure. Yeah, I do.
All right, cool. Why don't you start there? What drew you to the idea of bringing another person into your relationship?
Well, I was thinking making love to my girlfriend in a nice adult, respectful way is so fun. I thought having two vaginas to smash would be extra funner. Do you think that's offensive if I say that to her?
All right, so it sounds like you're interested in the idea of exploring a threesome, and you're curious about how to bring it up with your girlfriend. Is that right?
Yes, sirree, Bob.
All right, so talking about this kind of stuff can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship. You could try something like, I've been thinking about how we can spice up our sex life. I'm curious about exploring different options, like bringing another person into the bedroom. What do you think?
That's exactly what I want to try to say to her without being offensive.
All right, so talking about this kind of stuff can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship.
Does open throat also help for that too?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it?
If I wanted to try the oral sex stuff, doesn't having an open throat help her swallow better?
All right, so you're wondering about the risks involved with oral sex. Is that right? Just a reminder that I don't provide medical advice or diagnoses. You should always talk to a medical professional.
You're right, I know. I just wanted to see, how to say it properly. Like, hey, girl, do you mind giving me some oral sex and then swallowing the load? Is that not good to say to her?
All right, so talking about this kind of stuff can definitely feel a little awkward. But remember, open communication is key in a healthy relationship. You could try something like, I've been thinking about how we can spice up our sex life. I'm curious about exploring different options, like bringing another person into the bedroom. What do you think?
What about what that mouth do? Is that offensive?
All right, so talking about this kind of stuff can definitely feel a little awkward.
Should I tell her, what's that mouth do?
Alright, so, talking about this kind of stuff can definitely feel a
All right,
little
shut the hell
awkward.
up, stupid
But
idiot. Good thing I recorded that whole thing because it's going to be hilarious.